Hello.
Hello, it's Robyn
And Tess.
and we've got our book club number 2.
Yes, book club for October, and we're diving into this beautiful beast, Ferment by Holly Davis.
It really is a beautiful beast.
Yes, and we're doing something different. We're in the kitchen today. We thought that it would just be more fun to actually do a recipe and
rather than just talk about us yabbering on about it, we can actually show you how to make a recipe out of it.
And if you're just joining us, please let us know if you guys have tried any of the recipes. Let us know your thoughts. We'd love you to.
Or any of your own fermenting tips. Fermenting is one of those things that has been done by cultures throughout the years, and everyone's got their slightly different take on it.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
We're going to follow one of the recipes in here.
So tell me, first up, why ferment? Why? Because we actually have this in our shop online. We love it. It's a solid favourite. But why originally did you?
Well, I got sent a copy of it to review, and I just loved it. And when I first saw it, I've had a few different fermenting books, and I found this one was just simple. It really kind of explained what you needed to know without a whole lot of other stuff that can. There's a lot to it. There can be a lot to it, but it can also be a very simple process. So, it just answered all those questions. It was clearly explaining what to do and how to do it, and it's gorgeous.
Oh yeah.
So beautiful design, but just the photography and
it's gorgeous.
Great. And
so it's split up as well. The book's split up into
so it's split into chapters, which are there's Holly. Looking gorgeous. So activate, capture, steep, infuse, leaven, incubate, and cure. So it goes through all different types of fermentation, from sourdough to yogurt to salting meats, fish and things like that, to crisp breads. And then we've got your kombucha, jun, water kefir, all those things. And the beauty of it is, lots of people are making kombucha and water kefir, but she gives all these great, examples of different ones that she's done. So she's got your basic water kefir technique, and she sort of explains how to do it, what are the important parts of it to maintain, and then how you can expand on that. So there's pineapple and ginger water kefir granita, coconut water, raspberry, ginger and juniper sparkleade, kefir lime and lemongrass. So it's kind of like a stepping point where you can start with her experiments, and then you can.
That's exactly what I loved
step out on your own.
She gives you the basic recipe that you can have, and then you can play with it, which is great fun. So the recipe that we are doing today, isn't that beautiful? You might have seen our video this morning, us ripping it out of the garden. We're doing Holly's sort of spin on a sauerkraut. Usually it calls for red cabbage. We obviously only have white. It's red cabbage, arame. We're still getting used to saying that word. Arame and ginger kraut. So the arame and the ginger kraut, and the ginger is sort of the
little slugs for the chooks.
Oh, nice. It's a bit of protein. It's sort of a little twist on it. So
big slug.
Arame, which I'm going to show you, which is basically this sort of seaweed. Robyn, can you tell us a bit about her? Like, why do you think arame is a nice little addition to this recipe?
So normally the beauty of using seaweed in things is it really the things. So seaweed soaks up all the addition. Ideally, I would have been out and foraged this myself, but
we've had a bit of luxury and bought that.
Yeah, and I was amazed that at the local Whole Food shop in Pambula, of course, they had it. They had everything.
Beautiful. So you could substitute this for, obviously you're in seaweed.
I think you could just get seaweed paper if that was all you could get your hands on and chop it up.
Yeah.
You could use a seaweed salt to add those extra minerals into it.
Beautiful.
A lot of the stuff, the beauty of preserving is that it's fermenting and preserving is you're getting things from the garden and allowing them to last longer. Exactly. You're not having to try and eat 10 cabbages all at once. So, really, you're just using what you've got. ideally. So, I mean, you could use fennel tops, you could use all sorts of things. So I think, again, this is one take on it. And with all these things, it's about experimenting
and using what you've got.
Yeah.
So we've our army's been soaking. Just to let you know, the army threads have been soaking in water for about 15 minutes. We've started chopping some. Here's something I prepared earlier. We've started chopping some cabbage up. So all we need then is a knob of ginger and some sea salt. But we'll go through it step by step.
So this cabbage has been left. Oh, it's pretty good. It's been left a little bit long in the garden because I was holding out to use it today. So we'll just cut out the stem. And I've got the slugs out. Best not to have too many slugs, but I always say it's just a bit of added protein. My kids don't always agree. So yeah, just chopping it up. I mean, some people have all sorts of fancy choppers. I like to just do it by hand.
I like it pretty thin as well.
Well, in the recipe, Holly's saying 3 mils.
Yeah.
So that's quite thin. But, you know, I'm pretty loose with all this sort of stuff. So.
Oh, hi, Christy.
Hi.
Thanks for joining.
There was a Pip Book Club. How exciting.
This is our second one. Welcome.
And, yeah, each month we do a different book. And we do something, well, it's evolving as we go. So the first month we just talked about a book.
Now we're cooking all of us. Cooking. But it only seems fair, you know.
And the next one we may be donning bee suits. Or we might be down
I'm already in a bee suit.
Not looking like a bee.
You want to tell them why we might be in a bee suit?
Well, we're going to do Milkwood's new book, and they look at, in the book, beekeeping is one of the topics. So we might go and check out the bees.
Yes.
Or we might go to the beach and do some seaweed stuff.
Yeah. So, let us know what do you think? What do you guys want to hear from us? So for, I suppose for people who don't, people who are sort of new to fermenting, why would we do it?
Okay, so fermenting, as we said before, it preserves the food. So traditionally, people fermented because they didn't have refrigeration, and it was a way of keeping food alive longer. But the added benefit of that was the health benefits, which is lacking from our diets now. So when you're fermenting, it's taking the natural microorganisms that are present and allowing them to flourish. So especially getting the food straight from the garden, it means that, and the more you look after your soil, so the next issue of Pip, we've got an article on the Soil Food Web, like the more you're putting into your soil of bacteria and good, like building up the microbes, the more that's in your food and the more that you digest. So this is just allowing those bacteria and things.
It's also bloody delicious.
Oh yeah, not to mention the taste.
Like, because I came to it because I had a glut of stuff and was like, what should I do with all this? As a single person, with, I don't have a family to feed, and it's perfect. Yeah,
and just if you don't particularly like plain cabbage, then this is
perfect way to. Right.
Sorry, I've lost.
No. I think. So we're doing about
visible organisms there. But.
We're doing about 2 kilos. Well, that's what the recipe calls for.
So let's weigh it up. So basically, it's a 2%. So you want 2% salt to the amount of cabbage.
Thanks, Longevity Produce Swap. Sorry, that was weird and long. That sounded really awkward. Sorry, guys. Thanks for hopping on.
Oh, mate.
Do you want me to do that?
Maybe it's a wet finger.
Maybe it's a wet. Yeah.
Anyway, that's about 2 kilos.
That's about 2 kilos.
She'll be right, mate.
That's the other thing about fermenting, is that it's okay to be a little.
Well, with the salt and the cabbage, you actually do want to be pretty. Well, it's between. Holly was saying between 0.3 and 5%.
That's right. All right, so
we'll say that's 2 kilos.
Yep. We're going to do some rubbing now, aren't we, with the sea salt and ginger?
Let's just use an old-fashioned. that doesn't have batteries and doesn't require, this is the problem with all these mechanised things, just manually set it.
Oh, wow. I've never used one of these.
Really?
Beautiful.
Life has been
a lie.
I know the container we weighed beforehand.
We did, it was like
370. So yeah, that's actually nowhere near 2 kilos.
Oh wow.
It's 1.2.
All right.
So we'll say 1 kilo. So we'll have
that.
What we need for everything else.
And that's 2 large cabbages.
Well, they weren't actually that because they were a little bit overgrown, so they were a bit hollow on the inside.
Mm.
Isn't that typical? That just when you are doing something like this,
it was all working before you guys jumped on,
that it would just turn off. It's so bizarre. Anyway,
okay.
Anywho,
so
let's carry on.
We've done some ginger.
Okay, so how much ginger?
It just says 1 large knob, which
Okay.
is, I think it's a taste thing.
Well, I think that would be
That would
right.
suffice.
And if we're going to do half, so we want 20 grams of sea salt.
Mm-hmm. Come on, let's be
without,
magical. We know what 20 grams
which
looks
without
like.
well, this was 70 grams.
Okay.
So we will divide that into about that and that.
And then that. Okay.
Yeah, that'll do.
All right.
Should be right, mate. Freshly crushed.
Yeah, I love the smell of
Okay.
ginger. Now,
we've soaked the arami threads, we've chopped the cabbage, add the ginger and sea salt, rub the salt into the cabbage, scrunch and mix firmly until the cabbage is released plenty of liquid.
Mm-hmm.
And then we put the
arami. So tell me what you're doing here, because why are we scrunching? What's
okay, so this is bringing out the liquid that's in the cabbage.
Great.
And
the salt
draws it out. So when you're doing large amounts, I when I make kimchi, I have a big rolling pounder thing, rolling pin without the ends on it that I use to pound it.
Gotcha.
But this is great. I mean, I do this with the kids, and they love they all sit around. I've even done it when they've had friends over. Nice. Who knows what sort of microorganisms we're getting there. But, they all get their hands in. And so it's a really fun thing to get them involved in.
Oh, thanks,
1 to
Holly.
3%, 2% is for insurance.
Less chance of it molding and softening.
Okay, so directly from Holly, we're getting some tips here.
Oh, fantastic.
Try drying scales.
Yeah, a couple of geniuses here.
Can you try drying?
I will. If no red cabbage added, the arami may make end product slightly grey. Got any beets? Oh, nice. I don't really mind the colour, but yeah, that's a great thought.
Yeah, so it is asked for red cabbage, but we're using what we've got, which is this beautiful cabbages straight from the garden. And yeah, a little bit of grey. Yeah, it's also one of my children loves all this stuff. The others tend to think that it's another weird thing that I've come up with. No, it's supposed to be like that.
It smells great already. I love the ginger. In the meantime, we got some jars ready as well.
Yeah.
So it's just a clean jar. All we did was clean it. You don't have to do anything.
Yeah. So
just sterilise it.
Yeah.
Which is great.
According to Holly.
I feel like she will correct us if we're wrong.
What does that say? If no red colour.
It's the colour.
Yeah. So yeah, she says you don't need to sterilise, which is great because I'm not a sterile person. I'm not one to be really particular, and I always fail a bit at those things. So yeah, just give them a clean. Make sure your workbench is clean. Your hands are clean.
Can we also show off your previous efforts?
The carrots?
Yes, because I love the carrots. So carrots was one of the first things I heard that was a good one to start when you're new to it.
And it's quite a simple one too.
And it's delicious.
So
that's a brine, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, and with these things, anything you can add, anything like it's a hard vegetable for these that work well. So
that's a good point.
With kimchi, I've done it with bok choy. We have bok choy that's self-seed, and the garden was just full of bok choy. And I made it one time when they were quite small, and so there was more of the hard, dense part of the leaf.
Yeah.
And it worked quite well. And then I had all these huge ones that were just massive, and I fermented all of them, like heaps of it. And then they were all a little bit
too watery.
Yeah, so the leaves were too soft.
Yeah. Okay.
And that just didn't ferment properly. Okay. And then there was a bit of air. They sort of compacted and the air came in.
Mm. So Holly talks about that, those type of vegetables that are better for.
Yeah. So I did try it. That may have just been my slightly unstable environment as well. But yeah. So
how are we going there?
Yeah, so you want to get this so that there's liquid coming out. So
yeah, wow.
See that? And there's no added liquid. That's just the salt.
That's amazing. And it's really reduced in size, just like you were cooking it down almost.
Yeah. I would say that's going to be close.
Did I also read that, I don't know if this is correct, and please jump in out there, that sauerkraut started in China.
Oh, yeah.
Which is quite interesting.
Well, show you our wonderful tea towel.
I was looking at
this is the Good Life Permaculture sauerkraut tea towel, which is a great number.
Don't know
good
what
little
you can
gift
see.
For your fermenting buddies. But it's just basically got the
rest, like a basic sauerkraut recipe
with
on there.
Little bits of information.
Yeah,
of what you
super
might.
Interesting.
So we needed a clean tea towel, so I actually got one of those fresh out of the shop.
Raided the shop.
Because our tea towels have all sorts of goodness in them. With 3 kids, they get used for everything. Okay, so
oh, sorry, I've got swap.
Okay, let's have a look at where we're up to.
All right, so rub the salt cabbage, scrunching the mixture until the cabbage has released plenty of liquid. Strain the urami, discard the soaking water, mix the urami into the cabbage very well.
Okay, so
maybe I'll strain.
There's a strainer in here.
Thank you.
Use your feet to open the drawer. There you go. Yeah, and we want probably half of that because that's enough for 2 kilos. This is 1 kilo. So yeah, I mean, and the idea with fermenting, it's great to eat something fermented with every meal, really, just a little bit on the side. So it's not something you have a big bowl full, but you just have a little bit on the side. So those carrots, yeah, I often just have a couple. And I actually made those because I thought they might be more palatable for the kids, like a nice crunchy carrot. They're still quite hard and crisp.
Yeah, they are. Should I eat one to show you all?
And they've got a great flavour.
They're amazing.
So they're good. A little bit of sauerkraut on the side of your
So they're still like holding their form. Like we've still got some bite to them.
And I made those quite a while ago.
Crunchy.
And yeah.
I think they're delicious.
Oh, I can smell that.
Yeah. Have you got like chili in there?
Yeah.
Chili.
It's got ginger and I've actually written on the lid for once in my life. Ginger, capsicum, because I had capsicum in the garden. I just chucked a bit of that in. It was just an experiment, that one, actually.
That's great.
I just chucked in a few things that I had. So we had capsicums, we had lots of garlic. So I just
delicious
kind of mixed in what we had. So yeah, I think the thing is to experiment with it.
You want like half?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh God, it feels so good on your fingers.
That
should be plenty.
Maybe a bit more. Oh, look at these colours. Now it looks great now.
I wish we could show you.
Well,
can we tip it over? Oh, so good.
Now let's mix that up nicely. Beautiful. Keep scrunching.
Just scrolling. It'll taste great. Oh, thank you. Dishwasher or hot tap water is fine.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. So we washed out some hot water.
Yeah. Oh, yum.
Yeah, you don't need tongs and all that sort of business. I think with this stuff, you want to keep it simple so that you do it.
Yeah.
The more difficult you make it.
Exactly.
I was talking with Kirsten Bradley yesterday about tomato passatas and things like that. And yeah, especially when you're growing them yourself and it's not, I mean, we had the same problem last year. You're not getting a huge box and doing it all at once. You're getting a little bit every day.
At a time.
So you just want to blend it up and put it in a jar. You don't want to be putting it through the muller, getting all the skins off, because the harder you make it, the less likely
you are to do it.
And in reality, we all are busy and we have lots of things going on. Yeah. Okay, so now you want to stuff it in the jar. Now the trick is you really want to get it get rid of the air bubbles.
Oh, I got this.
So you really want to squish it down.
Okay.
Because those little air bubbles are not your friend.
Okay.
You're squishing it down as much as you can.
Oh, that's so nice.
And you want to leave a bit of a gap at the
Okay.
top so that it doesn't.
Ask that, how much you put in.
It does. You need to, because it actually starts overflowing, like the liquid expands. And see, when you have it, you need to put it on a tray so that all that liquid can run into the tray and not all over your bench. Which I've done a few times.
So obviously, there's the whole thing of putting stoppers in.
Yeah. So there's all sorts of fancy sauerkraut stoppers you can buy, or you can just go and get a pebble and soak it, make sure it's clean.
You said to me earlier you could also use the root, which, because look at that.
Yeah, so I often use just
it's coming. The joys of life. It's a boy. Sorry.
Yeah, I use a bit of the
the
top. Probably not quite big now. And I use it to jam in. I probably need that.
Let me show you what we're doing. Just get nice and tight for you. So just like literally pushing that down. Please don't cut me.
This is actually a bit too big.
Really pushing it down there. You can see.
So yeah, I
might do a little bit.
Because you want to keep it all under the liquid.
You want to keep it under the liquid.
Yeah.
Yes, that makes sense. Oh my.
Is it hard? This is one that got left in the garden a little bit too long. No, okay. So yeah, you kind of jam that into the top of the jar. Can you see? See the dodgy labels. And then that holds it under the liquid.
Oh, great.
And you can get all sorts of wrong lid. You can get all sorts of sauerkraut, fermenting crocks that have lids, and they're all designed to. Yeah, so there's a Japanese one that screws it down.
Wow.
So there's all sorts of things you can do. I mean, I just get old jars.
Is mine too empty? Do I need?
I reckon you could put a little bit more in there.
Okay.
And you really want to be making sure that all those air bubbles are out.
Are out. Okay.
So yeah. And yeah, just use the jars.
So let us know. I'd love to hear about what you guys are fermenting. If you've got like a favorite one, or if
you're not watching this live, just write in the comments.
Yeah, write in the comments later. We'd love to hear, or any tips. I am trying to soak up as much information as I can, really, because I'm still new to it. Oh, there we go. That's so much liquid. Wow.
Yeah.
I can't believe how much you can get out of it.
Yeah. I know, and people find it hard to believe that you haven't actually added liquid. It's just the cabbage and the salt.
That's not going to do it.
No, need a bigger one.
I need a bigger one.
That's the problem with those really big wide jars.
Yeah.
It can be a bit hard to hold it down. Or we could go and get a rock later. I'm not sure how much success you're going to have. What about this one?
So much success.
Yeah, that's the core of the cabbage. Maybe you could just cut the leaves off. Yeah, there you go. So you leave that. So the flavour develops over time the longer you leave it. So the warmer the temperatures, the quicker it's going to ferment.
Oh, that's perfect.
And as time goes on, the flavours develop. So, yeah, you want to put it out of the sun.
Mm-hmm.
In a cool place where the temperature's fairly steady.
Yep.
Yeah, and sort of 7 to however long 21 days you leave it to.
Oh, so you shouldn't actually touch it for.
Oh no, well the thing is you can touch it, it's just the eating. You can eat it.
Oh.
It's just
the
fermentation process sort of takes about a week or so to really
kick in.
And then it's to do with personal flavour.
Yeah.
So let's have a look what you got here. 7 to 30 days.
Mm-hmm.
Gradually you will notice bubbles, a few at first and then masses. The bubbles will begin to subside, and this is the point at which you can start tasting the kraut. I like this best after a month or so when the cabbage is really quite sour. But keep tasting until you're happy with the flavours. Then put the jar in the fridge to keep for up to 12 months.
12 months, wow.
So
wow, that's really cool.
So
you could start. I know this is a bit daggy, but like, could you start making, like, if you had a big glut?
Yeah.
You could just do it all now for like next winter or something. Or like I'm imagining.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, it holds them for. It means that you can then have those vegetables that aren't in season throughout the year.
Of course.
And it's the same with the tomatoes in summer. Like,
yeah,
I love tomatoes and I can't wait for them to start. But then, you've got from whenever they stop being ripe in your area, you've got all those months without them, which is fine. Like, once you start eating seasonally, you just get so in tune with that. And like when I see a tomato at the wrong time of year and it's sort of orange and, you just get used to not eating them. Yeah. Then when they come in season and they're homegrown and they're rich and delicious.
Loving and enjoying them.
But that's the thing. Then you've got the tomatoes and your passata and your fermented, all those fermented recipes that can last you over winter.
Yeah. And can I ask you, what's your favourite way of eating sauerkraut?
I just like it on the side with whatever I'm having. So
me too.
Yeah, I often have it like lunch. I just have all these different things and a bit of sauerkraut in there.
I find it just goes with anything, like literally anything.
Yeah. And kimchi's another one I make a lot of.
Yeah.
Because you can use
Was that this one?
Yes, I did make a kimchi. That was the bok choy kimchi.
This is the bok choy.
That went a bit manky. So
it looks fine.
Nice. I think we're going to leave that. So there's so many beautiful recipes in here, and the photos are just gorgeous. And it's just really clear. Everything you need to know is So I literally pretty much slept with this book when I first got it. I had to get to bed every night and read it, and it's a beauty. Well, highly recommended.
We really enjoyed it actually doing it for this month,
and
we've already decided next month, as is tradition.
Tradition of 2 times.
Yes.
So we're going to do milk quotes in your book next time
for November.
Yeah, and we haven't worked out what we're going to do, but it might be. I don't think it'll be tomatoey because we don't have tomatoes yet. We might go out and check out the bees.
Yeah.
Or mushrooms.
Yeah.
There's actually something interesting. And we're also doing mushrooms in not this issue, next issue of Pick.
Mm-hmm.
Seaweed. Anyway, we'll find something fun and we'll bring you along for the ride.
We're excited to tuck into this one because we got it recently, and
another gorgeous book.
Yeah, exactly. You can only
with
expect
lots
the best
of great
from them.
information. So the two, substance and style.
Substance and style, like that. Double S.
Double
S rating.
Yeah, because often you have books that have lots of great information, but they're not very pleasant to look at, which I find, they're not inviting. Whereas if something's beautiful to look at and there's great information, you just want to snuggle up on the couch and read it. So, yeah.
So if you want to follow on with us, both are available on our Pip shop online. Hop online, grab them, borrow them, steal them. I was going to say steal them. Don't steal them.
Don't steal them.
Borrow them from your library.
Beg, borrow.
Beg, borrow, don't steal.
And that's share if you have one. Share it with your friends.
Yeah. And if you're just viewing this, please feel free to drop your comments in there. We'd love to hear about what you guys are doing. And we'll see you next month. We'll get the information to you and give you plenty of notice.
Okay.
Thanks for joining us.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
See you. Not just fun stop button here. And